You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network. Visit pencilandpaperproductions.podbean.com to find more great podcasts.
Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me, as always, is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Oh, well, happy Monday.
And I see you brought along a guest.
I did. I found a straggler that I thought might be kind of fun to have on today. Yes, we are absolutely blessed with the company of Darren, who's part of Tayanna Studios developing team, which, as you guys know, with my love of FMVs, they will soon be releasing an interactive movie called Dark Side of the Moon. Welcome on in.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. I really am. Looking forward to this.
It's excellent. It's good
Absolutely.
to see you, man. I always had fun talking to you. I mean, is this where I could do the humble brag that I also have like a small voiceover in it? So I might have like a personal stake.
I was going to mention it anyway, but you've got in there before me, so...
I'm humble. What can I say? I can't wait for people to brag about me. You got to do it yourself, right?
For sure. Well, it's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you,
Why don't
Stephen.
you... What we normally do to kind of kick off our shows is we always like to ask each other what we've been playing. Are you an avid gamer at all?
I wouldn't say avid, which is ironic considering I make them, but
Right.
I have been playing a game lately, which I am intrigued by.
Ooh,
All
yeah.
right, what have you been playing?
The Talos Principle.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like them thinkers, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like my puzzle games.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I've heard that one's a bit tricky. I've never had a chance to play it yet.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where I think I'm approaching the end now, and I'm getting to the point where I want to rip my hair out. What's left of it?
Right.
That's how I usually get with puzzle games myself. Then I start to feel like I'm dumb, and I'm like, I should just walk.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Once you beat those puzzles, it's a sense of, hey, yes, me, yay me, well done.
Does it have any puzzles that kind of made you feel a little ridiculous that you didn't figure it out beforehand?
Oh yeah. A lot of the
Yeah.
answers are hidden in plain sight. It's usually the case. You can spend 3 or 4 hours doing a puzzle which could have been completed in 15 seconds if I'd have just taken the time to look around.
Like you're trying to think you're smarter than you are. I'm like, no, we've got to look deeper.
Yep.
It can't be, and then you end up screwing your whole self over.
I think that's the thing that makes me mad about a lot of those. Lace, what about you? What have you been playing?
Oh my God. So, I feel like in quarantine, I've been playing less, which is weird, or clinging to one game for far too long. And so I got this game, Tech Support, Error Unknown. Apparently, I just don't like myself either because it's exactly how it sounds. Like I'm at a computer screen and people ping with a chat with tech support, and you've got, your pre-recorded answers or whatever that you would try to do. And it's usually just a slew of asking people to turn their phones off and on again or factory resetting it, and then getting cussed at when you can't help them because they don't have a warranty. So maybe I'm just missing customer service abuse. I don't know. But it does actually have story thread throughout it, so it's absolutely 100% text-based. You can side with the company that you're working with and go completely dark corporate overlord and rat everyone out and just try to climb that ladder, or there's a hacktivist group that gets a hold of you and you could just decide to go with them and try to take down the corporate overlord that you're working with. And then there's little side stories with your brother needing help with money and all the things. So I was playing through it because the story was just kind of fun. And the police, obviously, there's another one there. You could side with the police if you want and try to bring them all down, And then also trying to balance like 5 screens of people's phones they broke or dropped in a pool or whatever. You know?
So what do you do, Lacey, there? Do you try and bring down corporate, or do you play the nice guy?
It's because they're quick. I mean, it's not like the game itself is long for one storyline. I think it takes maybe about an hour and a half per. I've kind of played through most of them now. The first one, I joined the hacktivist group because duh.
Well,
I wanted to bring down the corporate overlord, so I pretended to be like I'm doing my job right, and we hacked into the system and bribed people, and just to bring them all down. I just went full on dark side.
Oh, nice, thank you.
I did, yeah, first try even. Usually I try to play it correctly. The full, oh, look at that. Yeah, that kind of pulled in nicely, didn't it?
It did.
If only I would have paid attention to it and taken credit for the idea. But so that's what I've been doing. And then yesterday I tortured myself a little bit with Slay the Spire again, thinking I'd figure out the Watcher, and I still haven't. So
Just never gonna let it go, are you?
I was almost a month clean.
You
almost.
went back.
I did, but for only like 2 hours, so it's sitting there. Maybe one day I'll decide that I want to finish the whole thing with all the characters. It was funny, I was streaming it though, and I had someone new come in and go, "Oh, do you have any hints and tips for the Watcher?" Because like it's one of the new ones. I'm like, "Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing here at all. I'm sorry if you came here for tips, but I'm pretty much just commentary, and the game is clickbait. So let's so how you doing?" He's like, fair enough, hit the follow button and chatted with us for a couple of hours.
Hey, at least you got a follower.
You're not getting, there you go. Like, you're not getting skills out of this, but I can guarantee tomfoolery. How's that?
Yeah.
But how about you, Steven? What you been playing?
Well, let's see. I finished Dragon Quest. I don't know why I went back to Warrior. I guess it's an instinct in my head. Dragon Quest 2. I finished it. Which prompted me to go after 3. And I noticed there was a bit of a difference, slight differences. It was really interesting. The music and the art style, even though it's similar, they changed up enough to make it feel different. So I kind of appreciated that it wasn't just another game they went and just put a polish on and said, here's the same thing, but I know you just played this one and the one before it, but we're just going to slap the same coat of paint on it. They actually did do some tweaks and stuff like that, so I appreciated that. But I've also realized that it's still a grind. So I've just kind of been back and forth on it. And I'm like, I'll get to it eventually. And since I didn't have anything on console to play, I decided to whip out something. And I started trying Catherine again, full body.
Oh, yeah.
I did notice the additions to the game that they added, the new character. And I think even if I went in blind, not knowing, I won't spoil anything, but if there's an addition to this character, something about her that makes her stand out. If I didn't already know that, I think I would have figured it out by now. No. She's actually less endowed.
I know none of you at home knows, but this is our secret fun.
Is Catherine the anime style game?
Yes, and it's also a puzzle game in the sense that you have to climb these towers and pull out these blocks and shift it around, and then they mix it up with.
You'd probably love it.
Right?
Oh yeah, it's bizarre,
so weird,
but so good, so good.
It really is.
So if you love puzzle games, but you also love something that's just way out there, go for that.
Interesting.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So I was excited to replay it again, especially with the new stuff. They definitely have changed things because I'm playing in remix mode, so they've changed the puzzle, so it's not as I remember.
Oh, a little fresh for you.
Yeah, that's good though. So it makes me feel like I'm replaying the game for the first time, even though some of the story bits are different, but then they've added in the new bits with the new characters, and it's seamless. Like, you really can't tell one cut from the other because you'd think, it being an older game, you could be able to notice, oh, okay, that's where they cut it in. I just, like, I've played it before, and I just forgot all these other parts with this other character. So, they really did a great job keeping it seamless. Yeah. So, I'm excited to continue with that. I think I'm halfway through I think there's 8 nights, and I think I'm on day 5, or night 5.
Remember.
So I'm getting through it.
Close.
I've had my puzzle struggles with that. And then I haven't played it yet, and I'm glad I talked myself out of it because I was wanting to focus on Catherine. I did download a game called Guard Duty. It's brand new. It reminds me of those old, like Maniac Mansion and Day of the Tentacle. It had that same art style.
Said the right
Pixelated,
thing
yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, exactly. So it had that same art style when I saw the trailer, and I was like, I want to play this.
Yeah, I think I
So
love
check
those
that
games.
out. It's called Guard Duty.
Right.
So-
Guard Duty.
I'll make a note of that.
It just came out Friday, and it
Okay.
caught my eye, and I thought I want to play this, and I got it real cheap. I think it was only like $7.99, but it was on sale, so $10 maybe. So it's really not that bad.
Yeah, I think I'll check that
So
one
give
out.
it a go, for sure.
Yeah. There you go. You got 2 games now.
I know.
Puzzle games or whatever for you to take with you and turn you into a bigger gamer in our life. I don't know.
Look at
Maybe
me
your days
joining
are
in.
Fulfilling. I know. But did you beat Final Fantasy?
I did, and that's right. I didn't talk about that, did I? I guess
knew he was
my
super excited to talk about
weeks, my weeks had just blended together at a
That's
point.
fair.
I did beat it from last week. I think we were talking about it last week, and I was somewhere in it. We talked it last week was the review.
I don't think you had much left. What did I do last week?
Did I reviewed that last week, or was that the week? I don't remember. Anyway,
Sure.
I'd been playing
Before
it.
today.
I beat it, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything for anybody, but I'm just going to say this: I understand why they call it remake.
Yeah.
It's not a subtitle just to throw away. I'll just say that.
Well, that's spoiled it for me now. That's you've ruined it for me.
I'm sorry.
He's done. Now he's returning the game.
Exactly.
Done.
I mean that. There's a deeper meaning to it. Let's just leave it at that. And
if you want to talk with Steven about it, you can add him at Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo.
And I know that I've seen a lot of hate going around, and I don't get it. But I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there because
That's the
I understand.
gamer's rite of passage, right?
It really seems to be because no one can be happy with anything that they get. So it's
There's
just
always
complain.
that group that can't let people just enjoy something. You're just like, shh.
They want a remake, but at the same time want exactly the same game.
Exactly. So I don't
I want it to
understand
look pretty, but why did you change it?
Exactly. The original will always be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Still works.
Yeah, it does. I'm okay with it. I feel like they're giving fans, if they want to be called fans, they're giving them something very familiar, but also an opportunity to be something new. Just accept it. Accept it. Don't run away from it. See what they've got in store for you.
They might have some really cool plans with it. Because we were discussing this before. It's such a long game, right?
Mm-hmm.
They probably had so many storyline threads they wanted to pull at, but probably didn't have the capacity to do it however long ago when the game was brand new. And now they can.
Yeah.
You might be getting more of the game that you love that they didn't have the possibility of doing before. Think of that.
And that was the beauty of this game right now, is how they expanded on Midgar and really giving you this full experience of what this town, this world is, that you really didn't get to see in the other game. It was like 10 hours of the original game, and you're just going from point to point to point, and you really don't get to experience Midgar and the people in it and how it looks. And as I told you during the review, it's so alive now. The people, the businesses, everything, the music, it's booming. So now it feels like a real city, a real place, and you want to explore it. So
Sounds like an improvement.
yeah, exactly. So
Sounds like more game to love is what it sounds like to me.
I mean, if you're gonna complain about that they've expanded on that, then just go home. Don't play it because we
don't want you here.
it made it so much more interesting for me to actually see it expanded. But what do I know?
I don't know. I say we should just all be able to play what we like. If you don't like it, then play something else.
Exactly.
I don't know why that's so hard. All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and kick off some news then here, since I feel like we've got a full show planned. So what we've been doing is getting the COVID gaming news out of the way early. So if people are sick of hearing it, they can just kind of like skip forward a little bit, just letting Darren know here. Because I know some of us are probably tired of it. So now, you can skip forward a little bit if you want to avoid it. But as we have mentioned over the last few weeks, gaming sales and accessories has been thriving. The group has revealed that the stats in March of this year, I've been looking at this because it's just been kind of fascinating, that it has been up 35% than last year. 1.6 billion, which is the most ever spent on video games in a March since 2008. So software sales even went up by 34%, hardware sales by 63% to $462 million, with Switch sales, of course, more than doubling in comparison to last year, obviously. PS4 and Xbox grew by 25%. Accessories and game cards also grew 12%. So I think we know how a lot of us are spending our time at home. And I support this. And apparently now the World Health Organization does too. Oh, how a couple of months can change, right? And of course, GameStop is back in the news. Just chomping at the bit to reopen. Yes, video game sales are up, as we have just mentioned, and GameStop just wants back in. Never really wanted out. No. If you guys have seen the news over the last one. They held on as long as humanly possible. But they have actually began to reopen some stores in the states that we have seen start to relax the social distancing measures this early on. Georgia and South Carolina GameStops have already began the process and plans to further reopen across the country in the coming weeks. So they've already began in Italy, Germany, and Austria, and the states that I just mentioned. I don't really know what more to say about this company anymore. I really don't.
They want their money.
But I get it. I mean, they've not been having a stellar last couple of years. I don't know, man. It seems like this just might be one of those things that's going to have to start just moving to online. I hate to see brick and mortar stores go. I really do. Like, I remember how fun it was to go to the store and be surprised at what new games were coming out and then just rolling the dice on whether you'd like it because the box art looked cool or whatever you did, and then you were just stuck with it whether you liked it or not. But I don't know. Anyway, we've talked about them at great length. I won't complain about them anymore. But interestingly, PAX West right now is still planning on moving forward with its convention.
Really?
So we'll see how this works. The event is planned still for Labor Day weekend, September 4th through the 7th. And they are quoted as saying, actions are already being taken by the convention center and local government has left us optimistic. And we will continue working with them to make sure we take the correct steps throughout the summer. So this is from organizers of the event. I don't think I'd be so quick to buy tickets.
It seems very optimistic.
It does. Yeah. I mean, it is still far out, so I kind of understand wanting to try to hold out and see, because September is still in the future. So this remains to be seen. I know Seattle, the area was kind of hit pretty hard too, so who knows? I would like to remain optimistic that something like that can go on because my love of indie. Mm-hmm. So my biggest I loved going to PAX just to sit in that indie area and you couldn't get me out of it. So I would love to see it happen as long as it could be safe. But I wouldn't rush and buy tickets.
No.
I don't know when they go on sale. I feel like they usually go on-ish now. Mm-hmm. And moving on, Ubisoft is prepared to delay games. As everyone else. But in their case, just to coincide with whatever happens with the next-gen consoles. So if PS5 and Xbox Series X ends up being delayed for their release, in theory, Ubisoft is also prepared to delay whatever games they probably had coming out as the next-gen game. So they're preparing for Watch Dogs Legions and Gods and Monsters to potentially be affected. They did go on to mention that they've seen an impact to their original timelines, but that they are in touch with the current partners and they're just adjusting accordingly. So I think we've said this a million times. Just be prepared for any game you wanted this year to possibly be delayed, if it was going to be coming out here relatively in the next few months. Mm-hmm. And moving on with that, Amazon appears to be taking off pre-orders for games off of its site, which people are led to believe it's due to those the coronavirus concerns. I imagine it has to do with the fact that the workers have been adamant about staying essential within Amazon itself. We've seen reports on just the regular news where they're like, if you want us to remain essential, we only want to do essential things. Not like grabbing their makeup kit or risking our lives for a video game. My thoughts on it, though, as I've seen other reports about this in the news from that company specifically. So if you were wanting to pre-order on Amazon, chances are that game might be off their site for now, and you'll just have to go to the actual source and do digital for a little bit. And then this is just the last thing I'll mention. General warning overall. Been seeing lots of reports of people's accounts getting hacked on different consoles, platforms, what have you. Some of them have been debunked. Nintendo Switch, though, unfortunately has confirmed in about the 100,000 range. So if there's a two-factor auth or something that you can do, I recommend doing all of that. Unfortunately, in times like this, it brings out the nefarious folks who wants to take advantage as well. So try to protect yourself as best you can. Because if you're spending billions of dollars on games right now, you probably want to keep them.
Sure.
To do, right? Yeah. And probably just whatever other sensitive information you have inside your account as well. But that's all the COVID news. So we can go back to just regular tomfoolery gaming news like we like to do. It seems retailers are already taking names to sign up to be one of the first to get your hands on a PlayStation 5.
No thanks.
Good luck, though. This is not a pre-order. It's just a sign-up list so you could be notified, hopefully, to be the first to purchase it. Some of the retailers include Best Buy, Target, GameStop, and they're accepting signups. It still isn't a clear date, of course, when pre-orders will start, but some speculate probably June, which might be announced in whatever version of E3 we get this year, which we know it's going to be digital, but however that works. And we've already said they're only going to put out so many, so good luck, have fun. That's all
Sure.
I can say to that. If you want to sign up, go for it, and then try to hop on it as soon as they're on sale. And Horizon Zero Dawn was in the news. I thought you might like this.
Do tell.
About the sequel. So, according to Tech Radar, one of the voice actors from the game might have spilled the beans last year, seeing as how Sony or Guerrilla Games has not announced it officially. But we are getting this info from yet another job listing. So there is a tweet from Guerrilla Jobs Twitter stating they're looking for a senior AI programmer who can make a difference in the design and implementation of the systems that makes our NPCs come to life. So it definitely looks like it will be a PS5 game, since we have no info on how far along the process is, and without direct confirmation from parties involved. Apparently, the most solid lead we have is when that voice actor from the Frozen Wilds DLC said they were working on the next game in the series. But with the success of the game, over 10 million copies sold, which was one of the most popular franchises to launch on the PS4, I might add. I think this is possible. There was also talks of it being a trilogy, so you might actually have 3? And maybe co-op. I'm pulling from rumors from stuff that I've picked up all week. So obviously you want to get your friend involved, right?
I just hope that they don't, with a trilogy idea, hopefully they don't go the Matrix route and then do 2 sequels that just kind of bog down what you're trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
Versus really having a clear idea where you're going with 2 more games, if it's true.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Yeah, all of this with a great of salt. I like to steal job listings and then make up my own thing a lot of the times, too. Like, you know what I would like to see if you're hiring from these people. But yeah, so I find it kind of funny because we were all praising Horizon Zero Dawn for finally being a new, innovative idea, a brand new game, had nothing to do with anything else. Praising it for not being a sequel.
It was inevitable.
I'm staring them all down right now, guys, as I sip my, I guess it's supposed to be tea, right? That's my tea. All right, so moving on. Suspected Call of Duty cheaters may now be playing only with each other. I love when companies do this. It really warms my heart. Since its launch in March, it has been overrun with cheaters. We've talked about it before. So much so that the devs have turned off cross-play for Warzone to stop PC cheats from ruining the game for console players. But now they're going one step further. So according to a tweet, again, from Infinity Ward put out on April 21st, that players who were in the Warzone Modern Warfare who report suspected cheaters will receive a confirmation in-game when a player is banned. But additionally, deploying additional dedicated security updates, updated matchmaking to match suspected cheaters together. Increased resources across the back-end tech studio and enforcement teams, and coming soon, report a player functionality to kill cam and spectator modes as well. So you want to cheat? Go ahead. You'll get to play with the rest of your kind.
That's brilliant.
And let's see how much you love it. And I would love to see them all tweet, I got put in the cheaters corner and I wasn't cheated. And now...
Oh, yeah. You know that's coming.
You know it's going to... I didn't do anything wrong. Just because I had an aim bot. I don't know. They might be good people.
I doubt it.
So, and then just one that I thought was fun. Peaky Blinders has a game that's coming out this summer. It's a video game adaptation of the Netflix series of the same name, which is set to release on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the Switch. It's been a while since I've seen like all four same way. It's called Peaky Blinders Mastermind, which is actually a prequel to the first season of the show, with the series creator Stephen Knight working in collaboration with the dev team Future Lab. I hope I'm saying their name right. There's no E in the future. But you will play as the different characters, join the gang, do the whole thing. It actually looks kind of cool. I say keep an eye on it.
Sure.
Assuming it actually releases in the summer.
You actually reminded me of something that I meant to mention maybe last week. And I don't know if they're legitimate about this, but considering I just rewatched the entire series, I kind of want it to happen. An IGN video came up for Seinfeld the game, and I think it was a joke, but at the same time, they pushed it to the forefront and said, do you kind of want this to happen? Let people know. And I was like, are you serious? Because it kind of plays like one of those text-based adventure type.
Point and click.
Like his show?
Yeah. I saw the same thing.
Life?
With a nice 16...
Or the comedians in cars getting coffee or whatever that is?
No. Like Seinfeld. Like from the 90s.
Like the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sitcom.
Yeah.
So like an episodic?
I don't know. The
I'll
way
have
they
to look into it. I'm trying to envision like why we want this. So I'm just trying to put myself there.
I just want it because I just relived it and I was just like, this is such a good show. And then this just shows up out of the blue and I'm like, well, come on. I'm rewatching this now.
I don't
and
know.
This
We're
shows
all
up.
relatively the same generation here, right?
Yeah.
So Darren, Seinfeld or were you Friends? This is like the long debate.
Me, I was Friends. I was.
Hey.
Stephen, can we still be friends now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still friends with her. She gave me the friends
have
bit
anyone
too.
on my side.
Can we agree on
When it
Curb
comes
Your
to that
Enthusiasm?
debate.
Sure.
Oh, see?
Oh, yeah.
There we
There
go.
you go.
Brilliant show.
We'll find common ground again. It's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay. But I get it. Usually it was always like, whatever this is going to sound like, the women of my generation agree with me. I never usually get any men who agree with me. I thought maybe it was just where I grew up. It was fashionable to hate on Friends. I don't know. They might have secretly liked it. If you can quote it to me and you tell me you hate it, I think you're just like trying to keep it on the DL that you really loved it. Is all.
Just a fun, feel-good show.
It is. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't hate it by any means. I mean, I remember rewatching it not that long ago and it was just like, I forgot what a good show this was, you know? So, no, I really appreciate it, but I guess I lean toward the humor in Seinfeld just a
That's
bit
fair.
more.
That's fair. I've always said if everybody liked the same thing, the world would be pretty dull. But now we got more Bethesda news. Yay!
Oh, God, what do they do now?
I love talking about Bethesda. So, with the release of the Wastelanders DLC, it's no surprise at this point that with any Fallout 76 update comes with new bugs. So, I wonder if now we're just going to call it a feature. But apparently, NPCs are looting items from players' corpses. For good! So, reports of players losing tons of ammo, expensive or special weapons. It was noticed that when the NPCs started carrying their weapons, they're like, wait a minute. And by the way, there's no way to loot them back. So you can go back and kill them if you like. The NPC's body will be empty. So they, of course, put out a statement saying they are investigating it at this point. But I kind of feel like Fallout 76 fans are secretly masochists.
At this point,
me wrong.
they'd have to be, because every time they update the game, they find a way to screw over players. Everything
I feel
they
like
put
every
in.
update, people lose loot. That's all it is. And so I don't know if you followed this at all.
I don't know.
But it's kind of become a joke at this point, because I think every time there's been an update, it's literally always been something. I want to say one of the last updates gave you the ability to have a chest with unlimited inventory, but when you put your stuff in the chest, it also stole it and deleted it. So I feel like Bethesda is secretly just stealing everyone's loot.
How does these kind of things get past quality control or testing? Surely these are obvious things.
They must have no quality control because they just push it out and be like, it's fine.
It just seemed like ever since Fallout 76 happened, they've all just like lost their minds over there. Because like Bethesda, it's always been a joke that it's been buggy, but the games were always fun. It was good, you know? Like you could laugh at the fact that these bugs would happen, but now like, I don't understand.
When it gets to the point where it's destroying the gameplay, it's I can understand why there's a bit of frustration involved. Yeah.
You got just these fans still hanging on, man. And they're just like, I don't know. So now I'm sure next week I'll report about how everyone actually had to move. Because if you remember me saying, I think it was last week, that when the NPCs moved in, if you were on this no build zone,
Oh, yeah.
you were just kind of get shoved. So I'm waiting. That's what I thought I was going to see reports of this week, was people complaining they lost their homesteads and all this kind of stuff. But in fact, no, it was just more of them losing their loot that they're working hard for. So, Fallout 76 fans, I need to know why. That's it. Just, what's up? What's keeping you there? I'm really kind of curious now. I want to know, is the gameplay so fun that we're willing to keep losing our stuff? Moving on, though. Nintendo is doing another crossover event for Super Mega... I almost said our name.
Not our name.
It's too bad. They're doing an event for us, guys. We finally made it.
We finally did it.
But they're doing... We finally did it, guys. No other sponsorships, straight to Nintendo. So, Nintendo is doing another crossover event for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. The event is called The Spirits of Mana, and it started on April 23rd, goes through April 28th. This introduces new spirits from another third-party title, Square Enix's new Trials of Mana remake. Mm-hmm. So throughout the event, according to GameSpot, 3 new spirits, Duran and Angela, Kevin and Charlotte, and Hawkeye and Reese will appear periodically on the spirit board, and you earn gold, and you can add them to your collection if you beat them. Trials of Mana launched on Switch, PS4, and PC last week. Trying to remember when we're recording this. So last week, not this week. But it also, the next DLC fighter will be the character from ARMS. I feel like we said this already, but the stretchy arms fighting character game. Yeah, that's going to be the next character that you will get in June.
And I know everyone was excited for that, because who would have thought?
I know. Out of like all the characters, we're like, hey, you get this one, and you get Persona, and you get this, and then ARMS.
Yeah. Hey, at least it's not another Breath of Fire character.
That's true. They can put whoever they want in their game. I don't care. Yeah. I really don't. But now moving on to some quick hits, which this is just little headliners here that didn't really need a whole lot of explanation, but still good to know. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to Xbox Game Pass on May 7th. So if you've never played it, you have Game Pass. There you go. Do it. It's a great game. Doom Eternal for PC is already on sale for $40.
Whoa. What happened there?
I don't know why. I don't know. I think it's because they broke up Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was, I don't know who actually pulled the trigger first there. I could be accusing them of nothing. But again, Death Stranding PC actually is getting pushed back again to July 14th now. So if you were looking forward to it on PC, you've got a little longer to wait. And I know we may not have the audience for it, but it was kind of a big enough deal that I had to bring it up. Fortnite put out this huge Travis Scott concert. I will admit, I don't know who this is. Apparently a popular R&B singer. Please don't hate me if you love him and I'm not sure. But 12 million people attended this on Fortnite. So it's pretty huge. It's kind of like that. Didn't they have one with Marshmello not that long ago too? That turned up quite a few. I mean, it's like, whether you like Fortnite or not, that's actually kind of interesting that they keep pulling off these special events like this that's so heavily attended. I understand we all could be like, well, people are home, but that's still impressive for like a digital Fortnite concert kind of thing, you know?
Help me. I mean, did you happen to see any video of this? Like
yeah,
how
it's
this
like
works?
almost like you're literally watching an animated version of him while the music's happening. And then you can...
Is he involved? Like, is he...
I mean, I would imagine that licensing and everything like that was absolutely approved because Fortnite's had enough lawsuits.
Well, I guess, I mean, involved in the sense is like, is he performing? Is he part of it at that moment? Or is it just something
it's actually like... Yeah, maybe I should have watched more of it. Like, I couldn't find a whole lot of clips because I think it was something you had to, like, legit... log into to be able to see. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, I understand he can't literally perform.
I don't think he's like there, right?
But that would be kind of cool because in between each song he could talk to the crowd and all the people that are there. So they could just play a song, let him talk, play a song, let him talk. I don't know. It just, I mean, it's still impressive, but I was just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, that is curious to see because it is those one night events. I mean, you have to admit they come up with some pretty cool events. Mm-hmm. Like even the black hole, what was it? The black hole event.
Yeah,
like that was pretty impressive.
I'll give him that.
I mean, I just have to say, like, it got everybody talking about it. Even people who probably didn't even know who Fortnite was. You know, mm-hmm. They probably just heard like all of the children's controllers get broken in the air at the same time when they couldn't play. I don't know, whatever brought it along. But WWE 2021 canceled. You're not getting one this year. Okay. I think after all the stuff that happened with the last one too, it's probably best to step back and reevaluate and maybe try again. Mm-hmm. Another angle. NVIDIA GeForce is now free until June.
There we go again, bringing it up. Who knew?
If all of them are going to go free, it looks like. So if you were wanting to try it out and all your games kept getting pulled because of publishers, well, now you can play your same games for free till June on your mobile device. I don't know. Animal Crossing New Horizon now surpasses even Mario and Zelda in the U.S. for sales.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
COVID. Look what it did.
I'm telling you, but I mean, it's still... We're talking how many years?
Oh, yeah.
Have those franchises been around? And how long has New Horizon been around? It's pretty impressive. Xbox Series X got a new logo.
Yeah, what about that?
They didn't feel like putting on the console, apparently. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we've only seen like mock-ups and stuff. Who knows if it's actually going to get shipped with it. I don't know. It looks nice, neat, and clean. I just think it's funny that we have to talk about logo changes because it like blows up in the news.
You reminded me of another thing. Did you happen to see the 420 nonsense that came... There was
420 and 420.
Oh, well,
we all celebrated. Let's be real.
There were a lot of little 420 trailers showing up, like they make it seem legitimate, and then you're watching it, and then something seems askew, and you're just like, what is going on here? And then obviously you figure it out. There was a trailer for the Xbox Series XXL, and they made you think that this was like a new, bigger version, like the monster version of the Xbox Series X. And then you start watching and it's like, this can't be legitimate because they make it seem like 5 times the size of the box that it already is. And then they start naming off the features. It was like, you know, powerful graphics, a shit ton of clips. And you're just like, what? Oh, okay. So now you're just messing with me. I'll have to send it to you because it was
We're all
sitting
funny. There going, whoa.
Dude,
that's so huge. Did you see the shit ton of clips? Dude. They know their audience. What can I say?
Oh, yeah.
Call of Duty Mobile is getting an esports tournament with $1 million in prizes. Online qualifiers start at April 30th and runs through May 24th, and then the tournament will begin shortly after that. So those of you who keep trying to gatekeep mobile gaming, you can't see I'm flipping you off right now. But I didn't actually realize how popular this particular game was in the mobile verse, though, because it had over 100 million downloads in the first week. So I guess Call of Duty on mobile works really, really well.
I guess.
I've never tried to play a shooter on a phone, man. Like, I can't even imagine what it looks like. Sega updated its site for its 60th anniversary.
Has it been 60 years?
Wow. Apparently, according to their site, yeah. So you can actually go to 60.sega.com if you want to check it out. It's got a brand new splash screen, and you can send notes if you want, and whichever ones they approve could actually get like featured on the site or something like that. So there's new merch and commemorative gifts and the whole nine. So happy anniversary, Sega.
60 years, wow.
I know, right? I know. I mean,
I thought they just suddenly appeared in the 80s.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what I thought too. Yeah. But we also got to remember, like, a lot of these companies, like even like Atari and Nintendo, like that wasn't the first thing they did. So like Nintendo's been around forever, but they did like playing cards and stuff like that, you know. So Sega might have done the same thing, you know. We know they didn't do their little laser dance pad well. Whatever that was for a hot minute. And in case you missed it, Hello Neighbor got an animated series.
Did that come out?
Apparently it's pretty good. I need to actually plan to sit down and watch it. I mean, the game struggled to have a good launch, but apparently this show has been getting some pretty good praise. So I'll have to check it out. It's a little animated series on their YouTube. Go check it out. Been hearing good things about it. I kept intending to sit down and watch it, and I apparently have ADD these days and keep getting distracted. So I will watch it. Looks fun. Patent on the PS5 cooling system was finally made public this week, so I don't know how to read these things, but you can check it out if you like. So maybe that's good news that if the cooling was the reason why we've never seen a design, maybe soon we will. Maybe they got it figured out.
All right.
Phil Spencer let us know that Xbox Series X game reveals they're actually not too far off into the future. So I'm thinking, again, whatever version of E3 we get, we'll start hearing about what launch game titles will happen on Xbox Series X. But that's just me. That's what I'm saying right now. But I also wonder if it's like to drive those PC gamers maybe a little bit closer to console purchase. I don't know. I mean, we've been a hard sell.
Yeah.
They put out everything on Xbox. It also comes on PC. So I've literally never felt a need to have both. But it's fine. Whatever. And then last Quicket. I love it. GOG 2.0 huge update is coming soon. I don't know. Like, this squashed everybody's complaint about, I don't want to go to Epic because I don't want more launchers, or Ubisoft. Well, guess what? They've put all of it together for you here. I've tested it. I've tried it. Your excuse is now gone. It's free. So if you download the GOG 2.0 launcher and connect your accounts, it took a while because I had a lot of games, but it literally threw all of them into the same place. And then off to the left, you can click Steam or Ubisoft or Epic or Origin or whatever to separate those out.
Wow.
So now buy wherever you like, people, and download GOG 2.0, puts it all together for you. Only thing I couldn't find, and it might be implemented when it's officially released, they just said in the coming weeks, so they're getting close, is a way to categorize them again. So like on Steam, I can put my platformers together, or my multiplayer games together, or my F&B games all in one little thing. I want them to be able to do that too. And it might get implemented, or I just may not have found it. So if it's on there and I don't know, please let me know. But I got a truth or trash for you.
Ooh, hit me.
Now, this might be fun. You can just play along if you like. I give you something, a rumor. It could be true. It may not be true. I might have changed one little piece of it. And then you tell me if you think it's truth or trash. Or I always played it wrong, true or false. But, all right. So, my truth or trash for you. Dark Souls 3 has been leaked and planned on being announced at whatever version of E3 we have this year. We have video, 45 new enemies, 15 new bosses, 12 new areas, and hours of cutscenes that has been leaked. Do you think I'm telling you the truth?
I'll let you go first if you have an opinion, since you're the guest.
I don't think that's true. That's a hell of a lot of information to, but you know, if you're talking about video scenes, cutscenes, it's a hell of a lot of data there. No, I'm going to say that's trash.
Trash. I mean, the sneaky leaker, man, I tell you.
I mean, they're pretty crafty little buggers nowadays, but
they got nothing else to do now, people. Keep it under lock and key.
I mean, I think I'm going to have to lean the same way. I think it's trash.
Trash? I mean, it's not like we're at a loss for Souls-like games, that's for sure.
No,
anyway.
I could do without them.
All right. I have 2 weird news.
Okay.
I couldn't resist. They were both quite interesting. So, someone built their own Switch. Since getting their hands on one proved quite difficult. So obviously we have no idea how well it performed since, we don't have it in our hands or anything like that. But I guess some of this creator's friends complained they couldn't get a hold of a Switch and wanted to play Animal Crossing and decided, I could probably do this, right? So obviously you can't find a Switch, or if you do find one, it's not fairly priced. He actually did a full write-up on what they did to create the version of the Switch, and along with pictures and instructions, what parts that they used, and all in all said it cost him about $200. So if you're tech savvy enough and want to attempt this yourself in quarantine, he put it all out there for you. And looking at them side by side, with the exception of the colors, obviously, because this was like a see-through green or whatever for the stuff on the side, I couldn't tell the difference. Huh. So,
are there videos of this on YouTube in action or anything?
I haven't seen anything in action. I saw the guy put it up there. He put the instructions and everything like that, because that's why I was like, I can't tell what it performed like, but, put it on Reddit, and apparently got good feedback from the friend who wanted to play Animal Crossing or whatnot. So, I mean, I believe it. People are kind of smart when it comes to that kind of stuff. You get one of those technological geniuses who might now have too much time on their hand.
Huh.
I just thought it was really neat, and I kept the link if you want to put that in there too with the podcast when you put it out, if people want to check it out. It looked pretty neat. And then the second weird story that I discovered, a little late, but still worth mentioning. So a Reddit user felt compelled to spread a video game rumor for science, he says. But now get this, all right? So the user, who goes by the name certain_ability, posted a thread in the gaming Reddit, which has about 7.5 million subs. The claim: he used to work at Microsoft and wanted to leak some juicy details, and continued to claim that the people at Xbox had asked Insomniac Games to develop a reboot of the platformer Conquer, but said that Insomniac turned it down because of time constraints and concerns, because they wanted it done fast and they didn't want to sacrifice the integrity. So he writes, the Conquer project has pretty much been canned. No one wants to make it because Microsoft wants to rush it out. I'm not sure if those reboots will continue as planned or if they want to wait for someone else to tackle Conquer. But he even went so far as to provide an email shared between him and another employee. But why did this even pop up? Because people claim to know stuff all the time, right? Mm-hmm. How did this guy make it through? Well, apparently the mods of the subreddit corroborated that he was in fact an ex-employee there and actually gave him the verified sticker. Couldn't find out how that even went down, but they didn't stop there. They reached out to Kotaku, which is where I'm pulling this from. So there were several email exchanges. This person was trying to convince whoever at Kotaku that they were who they said they were. And after they provided adequate proof, I'm going to say back and forth that they were, other gaming sites had already caught wind and started posting this information. So a month had passed before he received a follow-up email containing the confession that it was fabricated. So they were trying to get this guy at Kotaku on board, Jason Schreier, and was like, I don't think this seems legit. Started seeing other websites post it, which prompted him to dig into it a little bit further. So why did he make all this up, and how did he manage to make it get so huge? Well, he's a student and came up with the whole thing to fulfill an assignment for his media studies class. His task was to just simply go viral. So his explanation was that his assignment was, as long as it wasn't illegal, I still not sure if it was or not, though, if I'm my own opinion. And he said, since everyone hates Microsoft for what they did to Rare, which I thought you would appreciate.
I do.
He he just felt that Microsoft would be an easy target. And then he went on to explain that he added in Insomniac just to make people think it would have turned out great if it hadn't been canceled. So with all this in hand, Jason Schreier over at Kotaku followed up all the way to the professor, still uncertain how this could have been completed so successfully, to which the professor apparently met him with laughter and confirmed that this was indeed the assignment. And even went so far as to say, if it's too bad that the grades went out before Kotaku reached out, that might have actually made his grade a little higher. So I also linked that if you want to look at that. It's quite impressive. So I hope he at least got an A.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I wonder how long it's going to take to go back and be like, he didn't work for Microsoft. We don't even know who this was. But I mean, GG, man.
Sure.
We got it viral somehow. And I think if the mods hadn't given him that verified, we might have been not hearing about this at all. But okay. I don't have an I'd buy that for $1. I think we spent all our money last week.
We did.
On
wasn't
the
a whole lot to go off.
$1,500 Ash statue, which I'm still keeping an eye on. I want to see if anyone buys one.
Well,
I
what
think
do
I
you
can
have?
steal it, but I'm going to try. I do have a Name That Game.
Yeah! We usually dance
Yeah, we're
to the
dancing
invisible
on
music.
And you'll hear it later and go, oh.
And stop.
So, I know you haven't played this one before. So, what we do is I'll find some smaller games that probably were just pushed out fast or just caught my eye because they were just so bizarre or weird or why we thought this was even made. And then I will give you 4 choices as to what you think they named that game. 3 are false, 1 is true. And then you could see if I did a good job throwing you guys off or not. Steven's really, really good at this, so we probably should have had him do it this week just so you could get, like, the king of Name That Game. But I once in a while catch him off guard. I think last week was the first time I got all 3 for you, though, right?
I think it was the week before.
Or the week
because
before.
I was having
All
a
the
bad
weeks
week.
are the same.
I love
I
things
always
like
did.
this.
Yeah. All right, so your first game. Join in the fun with an unforgettable experience unlike any other. This game brings some hardcore, crass, dirty, vulgar, dark humor into an easily offended world. Not pulling any punches and making fun of everything. Side note, this is more of a visual, novel-style comic episode, almost like a sitcom. Let us take you away to a new place as you sit down, relax, grab something to eat or drink or smoke, and chill out with us while we do all the hard work for you. All you want to focus on is laughing and having a good time. Enjoy the show and forgetting about the stresses of daily life for a while with our very first episode. It's a one-of-a-kind, hilariously crude and unforgettable fun, super affordable for the amount of laughs you'll have. And the first of many to come based on popular demand. Is this game A, Bear It All? B, Crass Events. All of them have exclamation points, by the way. C, Naked News. Or D, You Can't Handle the Truth.
Well, whatever it is, I want to buy it because you've just sold that to me. Wow, that was impressive.
I've actually sold myself on a few Name That Game ones, too. I really have.
I am... Oh, I only get one go, yeah? One guess.
Yeah. A, B, C, or D?
Yeah, I'm going to go with You Can't Handle the Truth. That one.
Can't handle the truth.
I will go with... Because you're throwing me off. There's two in there that are throwing me off. And I'm trying to catch what you're doing here.
It's hard. I got to think how Steven won't think.
A.
You're going with A, Bear It All.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is C.
Damn it.
Naked News.
Oh, this is fixed.
It is kind of hard. Usually if it's completely unfair, I tell them at the top. I'm like, this one was just so bad I had to put it in here. But if you guess it, like, holy crap, you know?
Did I miss something? Or did you actually explain any kind of plot? Because all I heard was, this is funny, this is offensive, but I didn't necessarily hear a plot.
Yeah, basically that's why I put in the almost like a sitcom, and then I wrote in myself enjoying the show, trying to, because like when you read it, you're like, but I might check it out. I don't know. Isn't this sad? I bought 2 actually named that game games. What can I say? Now this one I found for Steven as well, because he loves these kinds of games.
Okay.
Right now. So this game, warning! This game is hard as beep. Run, jump, and blast your way through an unforgiving cyberspace at breakneck speeds, pushing your mind and body to their limits in the never-ending pursuit of perfection. Studies show that nearly 15% of people enjoying this game. Do you like it? Precise first-person shooter meets fast-paced platformer to create a unique speedrunning experience. 10 levels of difficulty ranging from, it took 15 tries, but I finally got it, to, this shit is impossible, though we promise every level is beatable. Is this game... He loves when games try to berate you into thinking you're never going to be smart enough to finish it. Is this game A, hard, fast, and flashy? B, hard as beep, punish me? C, the big brain effect? Or D, speed running, bitches?
Who's going first?
You go first.
What was what was the second one called again? What was the second choice?
Hard as, I said beat, but hard as fuck, punish me.
Oh, I want to win one. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with B.
That's how I felt too.
Hard as beep.
You're going to go with B?
Yeah.
Hard as beep, punish me.
I mean, that does sound like it would be the legitimate title of this.
It does. That's why I went for that one. Yeah.
I'm going to have to agree. I'm going to go with B as well.
You're going to go with B? And the answer is A. Hard, fast, and flashy.
Right, I'm going. Bye-bye.
There's only one more. At least this could be like whose line. The points mean nothing, right? Like, it's just, we throw them out there for funsies. And your last game... After you graduated from high school, you went to a senior university, right? Well, you can relive it again, or for the first time in your life. You could be a bully, or a geek, or even a macho who does not miss the reason to chat with the girls. You will be able to pump up your skills, go to school, work. Well, just don't forget about the hot girls. Visit them, chat, hang out, or maybe it will turn out something more interesting. But you have to be on alert. Bullies, athletes, and even geeks will be ready to fight with you. Therefore, you should also monitor your characteristics and needs. You know, hunger, sleep, fun with the girls. You can make money in a not very honest way. For example, participating in street fights for money. In this game, you will be given the freedom of action, a simple RPG, composing, and many girls. Is this game A, naked co-eds, B, the good old days, C, sex apartments, D, make college great again? Probably know which one's mine.
You see, this time I'm leaning more towards the the sex sells angle, so I'm going to go with that one this time because it's actually got the word
C,
there.
sex apartments.
Sex, but that's the one. Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with B. I think they're not going to be that blatant, but maybe.
We'll see. Old days.
The good old days.
And the answer, all right, we have a B, we have a C, and C.
Oh.
Sex apartments.
Yay!
Yay! Woo!
Got a smile on my face. Nobody can see it, but yes, I've got a big smile on my face.
And again, is this what's sad? I was like, I'm probably play this too. It's pixel art, and it looks ridiculous, and everybody's sleeping with everybody.
Wow.
I'm telling you, the best place to pull from is the 18-plus games. I just don't mention them a lot here, but the descriptions for those are just, like, the most hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And they're usually, like, $1 or free. So I'm selling you even on... You won't even break the bank. Or maybe other things. Anyway, so... Moving on, then, to let's just get into an even more lovely topic of discussion with you, our special guest who came on the show today. As we had mentioned at the top, you've heard his lovely voice throughout. We have Darren with Tayanna Studios here, who is developing the new interactive movie Dark Side of the Moon, which will be upon us, I'm sure, any moment now. Unfortunately, looks like got delayed because of world events. But tell us about the game. Tell us where we're at.
It's a brilliant game. Buy it
looks
next.
fun.
No, it's it's due to be sent to the publishers within the next month or so. And from then on, they will decide the release date. So it's not too far away now. I know I keep saying that a lot on Twitter. Every single reply. Not long. Soon. There's nothing else I can really say.
Yeah, we don't know. Hopefully everybody's been understanding with you. Considering the circumstances. You wanted us playing.
The COVID outbreak has indeed delayed things slightly. I've got 2 children. So I've been having to homeschool and things like that, which of course has slowed down things a lot. But yeah, it's literally just about done. It's just been polished right now, more or less, and then sent to the publishers, and it will all be yours.
I can't wait. Well, tell us a little bit about the plot. What can you reveal to us thus far?
Basically, without ruining too much, it's about a character, Dean Hamilton, a single father whose 2 children vanish one morning, and it's basically a thriller of Dean's hunt, his search for his 2 children, with some twists here and there. There's some sci-fi twists. I don't want to say too much. I know from the promotional material I put out already, it does give you a vague idea of where you think it's going. Everything I've put out has been chosen deliberately, to force a certain way of thinking. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited to see people's reactions.
It's spawned a lot of people wanting this Alex Dean kind of.
Yeah, I suppose you're gonna have to play the game to see how that plays out. But yeah, Alex, Anna, played by the wonderful Anna Rosa Butler, she is fantastic. She really is.
Yeah, she is. We've had the pleasure actually of having her on the show. She's fantastic.
Huge kudos to her even saying yes to being involved with this to start with, because of course this is my first major game. Well, not major, you know what I mean, a bigger game with a publisher. Just sending the initial email to contact her, asking if she would at all be interested. I was shaking, typing, shaking. Yeah. But of course, it's been a wonderful experience, and I generally do think people will fall in love with Alex's character, with Anna Rosa's character of Alex. This is it. I believe she's a real person myself. But yeah, she's a lovely character. She really is.
And then of course, but you snagged 2 major FMV
Mr. Rupert
actors
Booth,
in the
Jenks himself.
Mr. Rupert Booth, yeah,
the actual Jenks. There's another one. He was the first one I contacted actually, and he asked for a copy of the script. And of course, when you've been writing this thing and you're very, protective of it, and you don't want it. Of course, constructive criticism is always great, but when you send it to somebody like Rupert. Oh, Rupert, please don't.
Oh, I would have a little too. I'd be like, someone of your caliber, okay?
Yeah, luckily
please love
for
it,
me.
or just whatever.
Luckily for me, he loved it, and he signed up straight away. And he plays, I think we all know he plays the main bad guy, Gideon.
And so well, from what I can tell in the clips you've sent out.
His performance...
Haunting my dreams already.
His performance in Darkside is purely terrifying, which is exactly what we wanted. But it's such a lovely contrast to see him playing the usual law-abiding character, Jenks
I was going to say,
Dupont in Shapeshifting Detective. So to have him play something the exact opposite, he enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed writing that. So yeah.
Oh, I bet he enjoyed it. Any actor who gets to sink their teeth into something probably a little outside of their whatever they get typecast as, or whatever they go for or get the parts for.
I mean, he even said, I think it's every actor's dream to get to play a bad guy, an over the top bad guy. Every actor loves doing that. You can have something really meaty to sink your teeth into. Just have fun. And good Lord, does he have fun.
Hopefully that's your outlet, and you're not that way in real life.
Say again, sorry, Lycia.
I said, I hopefully that's what they're using as their outlet too.
Yeah,
not just normally over the top evildoers in their day-to-day. I couldn't imagine that with Rupert anyway, but I don't know.
It was
get him and Anna Rosa together and things probably.
It was wonderful, seeing Anna Rosa and Rupert, actually sat in my garden. It was so surreal. We're there having a cup of tea in the garden in the sun last year, and it's like, oh my God, Rupert and Anna Rosa are sat in my garden with me talking gibberish, just having fun. It was brilliant. Wonderful experience.
Well, then explain a little bit more about the FMV experience behind it, because I know we're going more with an interactive movie, which I know feels like there's been a lot of confusion, people getting the two mixed up in the play styles, movie versus point and click kind of game.
That's it. To me, FMV leans more towards point and click. Puzzle elements, which Darkside actually,
right.
And I don't think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've played, as you know, a good few amount of FMV games, and I'm not sure I can recall an FMV or interactive movie game where it combines the two, if that makes sense. So you've got your interactive elements, your interactive movie elements, where the character of Dean has to make on-the-ball decisions of how does he react to this situation, but it also then cuts to the traditional FMV point-and-click style of, well, if I use this object with that object, I might be able to achieve this. You know, it mixes them both, it blends them both, and it seems to work really well.
I would imagine that would lend itself nicely to each other. I'm trying to think of an example if I've even seen one like that.
No, that's do you know, and that wasn't really the intention originally was to make it a full-on point and click, but it wasn't until I started coding and putting it together where I realised actually this would benefit more with these high pressure moments of make a decision quickly, you know, which of course sorry for clicking there, which of course adds to the drama and the tension. So yeah, I think I've created some kind of subgenre game there. I'm not sure.
Nice.
I'm for it. I'm all for it. So are we allowed to like hear any intricate details about like how many endings? Or anything
absolutely
fun that
not.
I can pull at? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure out like a nice question to ask about the game, but also not spoil anything too, you know?
Right. Well, this question's been asked a few times actually. And it depends. I always say the same. It always depends on how you define ending. Because if you mean an ending for the final outcome of the game, just before the credits roll, then there are 3 of those. But it's really difficult to explain this.
I don't want you to give it away.
In total,
like things that maybe happen throughout the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Overall, there are 6 endings in total. I should have just given you that answer to start with. There are 6 endings. It would have been easier. I like to overcomplicate matters.
To it all right. Well, I don't want to. If there was anything also you wanted to ask Steven, you know, you can just jump in. You know me, I'll just keep talking in silence.
No. I mean, I figured you had
comfortable in silence.
Your line of questioning or anything. I guess the only question I had, kind of looking at it from a developer side, is has everything that's gone on kind of, I know that you were talking about having to teach your kids and kind of cut away to that, but has this slowed down progression of the game or development or anything like that, or have you been able to kind of keep going about where you wanted to?
It has slowed me down slightly, but I am making up for it. I don't know if, I mean, obviously nobody else can see me right now. I don't know if you're aware that I look very, very tired. That's because I didn't go to bed this morning in the UK till I think it was 8 o'clock this morning for a couple of hours because I was up through the night coding away. So yeah, it has added a slight delay. It has, but you know, it's not just. I can't just say yes. This is all COVID's fault. That's not the case. Sometimes life in itself gets in the way. Things, you know. I work from home anyway. I'm self-employed as a graphic designer. You know, to keep the pennies coming in, so to speak. So yeah, there's things like that I have to take breaks for to do the actual work. But and sometimes, you know, because I'll be honest, I am a perfectionist when it comes to this game. It's my baby, and that's how I see it naturally. And I will complete, you know, huge chunks of the coding and the game and play it through and then think, do you know, I could make that better if I just did this. So then it's another week or two of going back through and, you know, but I just don't want, I want to release it when it's absolute best it can be. That's, you know, and that's what I want.
Sure. I can understand that. And so you said this was your first major game that you've done, or? I
had a self-funded point-and-click game called Calm Waters, which is still on Steam now. I learnt a lot from that experience. Yeah, it's nothing like nothing like the scale of Dark Side of the Moon. But yeah, Calm Waters it's called, but yeah.
Oh, fun. I think I realized that you were doing the coding and everything yourself.
Yeah,
so how big is the
a big
team
one-man
behind
band
you
here.
then
The only
right
thing
now?
I'm not doing is the score, which has been done by the very talented Adam Press. His work is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm not doing. The editing, the grading, the coding. Ugh.
Were you behind the camera too, doing all the filming?
In the scenes I'm not in, yes, I was. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah.
And wrote the script and everything yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
You're just like this huge threat, man.
It was
Hey.
the
very.
whole thing.
It was
Mad
very
respect.
demanding. Thank you. It was very demanding. We were filming towards the end of the shoot, and it would. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it'll ruin it. Big spoiler.
Right.
But yes, we've been filming for a few hours, and the cameras were rolling, and I literally just passed out from exhaustion because I've been working every day continuously, and hardly sleeping. I just literally thud. I just went.
Was this while it was happening? While you were filming?
This-
'Cause
yeah,
I kind of hoped that they just kept riffing, thinking
Well,
you
that's
just
the-
wanted more.
that's
And
the-
a long, awkward blooper reel of them like, is he going to cut?
No.
Like, do we keep going? Or?
The strange thing is, it was just me in that scene. So the camera was on me, the lights were on me.
Ah!
So yeah, so the heat of the lights and everything didn't help matters. But the weird thing is, the interesting thing is, and I think you'll be able to spot it when the game comes out. You will know because we kept some of. Because of the what was happening in the scene, it was very suitable. What was happening to my face at the time, because I was struggling to. When you can see somebody's about to go. Mm-hmm. That you can see it in the game. We left that in the game. You can see that just before I actually fall.
Nice. You're like, this actually could be useful. Happy accidents is what we call it. But now you can just take creative credit for it. Or at least that's what directors have always told me. Like, if I did something out of their script, they're like, that's cool. I'll just take credit for it. Like,
Exactly.
I'm merely a prop. It's fine.
You look so convincing as a tired person. Yeah, that's just pure acting. That's just pure talent, my friend. But yeah, absolutely exhausted.
This is my calling. Oh. So what was the motivation behind getting this one off the ground? Because it seems like you're doing this huge undertaking all on your own, and I'm very impressed that one can get all of this going in a timely fashion.
What it was originally, it's after Contradiction. Of course, we all know Contradiction. Once that was released, I played through that. I thought, this is FMV's truly made a comeback. With the advances in technology, you got HD video now. It's not all interlaced, and I just thought, because I went to college, I did media studies. I used to make films. That's been my passion, and I know how to code games. So I thought, why don't I? I've been an FMV fan for years, ever since I was a child. So I just thought, why don't I do this? It's the two obvious elements: filmmaking, game design, FMV. They go together hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I just thought, you know what? Let's have a go. Let's do this. So yeah.
Excellent. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then favorite FMV of all time.
Oh, this one always gets. Are you serious, Daz? Yes, I am. I'm going to say the first word, and you're going to go, good choice. Then I'll say the second, and you'll say, get out. Don't ever come back on this show again.
Test me. Let's see.
Phantasmagoria 2.
You know what? I can respect that, though. I can respect that. I love them both because they're completely different. I mean, let's be real. But, that one was more less green screen work and everything.
It was.
I guess.
Up until the end, I think. Yeah, but
fully FMV?
Yeah. And it was more full screen as well. A clearly bigger budget as well, I believe. I'm not sure. I could be wrong there, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I could be wrong. Not sure.
And a much more bizarre storyline, even if we could do it with Phantasmagoria. Actually, I need to revisit the second one.
You should
I know I
do.
played it
It's
several
just
times, but now that enough years have passed and I have replayed the first one over the last couple of years, it would probably be interesting to check it out. Because I can remember I was too young.
But it's just a fun game.
I was too young though for some of the scenes.
Oh no, yeah. It's a very
So
rude game.
when I look back on some of them, I'm like, why was Mom really didn't pay attention to what I was playing? She probably should have looked a little bit more.
I think I was about 15-year-old playing Phantasmagoria 2 with a big smile on my face during those scenes. Yeah, put it that way.
Yeah, it was the first time I had seen anything that weird, and I'm like, you're allowed to put that in a video game? You're allowed? Okay.
Yeah,
But,
pushing the boundaries.
I can respect that, but yeah, most people probably have never even played the second one. That may have even played the first.
Yeah.
I would hazard a guess.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Have you even played either of them, Steven?
No, but I know of them.
No.
I'm aware
I
of
figured
them.
maybe the first one.
It was just one of those things. I didn't have a PC to play them when they came out, and it was just I was always that kid on the sideline watching all these other kids with PCs, and I'm just like, well, I've got my little PC over here that can do some things. I'll just sit here.
But you had like the Dreamcast and stuff, right? So we were able to get some FMVs in there for you. No? Okay. I can never remember who had what console anymore at this point and what actually started out where. Because I know some of the FMVs came to like the Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast.
Lycia, do you know if Sierra actually released any on the Dreamcast or Sega?
You know, I don't. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did.
That I can think of. And if it was, I don't think they were the ones who would have done it. Because like that... It was a weird period of time there where, like, for some reason, like, Broderbund, like, sticks out in my brain, too, that did a lot of publishing for FMVs, but then you don't hear about them anymore, and then...
I know what you mean, yeah.
Now you're seeing them rebooted and put on.
Publishers of publishers of publishers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So many, and then now that a lot of them are no longer existent or have merged into something else entirely at this point that... Yeah. But I'm definitely enjoying this uptick of the FMVs because as all of us know that they were good, then they got really bad, and then they went away. And then I would say like 2010, 2007 or so, I started to see some of them floating back in. Her Story is the first one I can remember where I went, oh, they're coming back and they're good again? Yay! You know? And then started seeking them out. And I think it's a great time to be an FMV developer right now.
It is, yeah. I'm just wishing Darkside was out now, you know, to take advantage of everybody being inside buying computer games. But you know,
I can say the same. I really wish I could get my hands on it now too. Was there any inspiration for wanting to do the movie instead of just a regular point-and-click, fully motion video game?
It kind of goes back to what I was saying about before being at college studying film.
Bandersnatching.
Yeah, I just thought, you know, why? Because, of course, this is the naivety of my thinking when I first thought of Dark Side of the Moon. If we just film it, then it doesn't mean, I don't have to draw the 3D backgrounds. There's no rendering, there's no... Oh, it'll take a lot more, it'll be a lot more quicker. Oh, I was wrong. You know, with the editing, the colour grading, the sound mixing, it's like, oh my god, it would have been quicker just to draw a background. But yeah, it's all been a learning curve, it has, but it's come along really good, and I keep saying it, but I can't wait to release it. And Lacey,
so
I might have to give you an early copy to test if you'd like, a beta to test.
Hello,
yeah,
let's do that.
Yours for only $12.99.
There we go, there's the kicker. Girl can't even get a copy. I see how it is. No. I would love to, actually. I often told people that I would be great for QA in any respects because technology just breaks in my presence. I literally don't even have to do anything. So if it passes me, ship it. We're good. Like, I've had, no lie, 3 different just software companies that I've tried to use their software for whatever reason tell me, oh, yeah, I've never heard of that before. Let us know if you figure that out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I will then. Like, I literally can't find any help because I'm the only one who had this issue. I'm like, okay. So, again, I'm going to keep saying, hire me for QA. Literally any tech company. If it can get past me, you are good to send it out, all right? Charge money for it. We're good. So what was the biggest shock then? You said you couldn't believe like how big the difference was between just filming and making the game. What was the biggest hurdle then that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's just been I don't want to sound negative by what I'm going to say. It's been a great experience producing and filming this game. Don't get me wrong, but it just has been. I'm just shocked at the overall effort that is involved to do this. I mean, I never set out thinking, oh, this is easy to do this, not as direct as that, but I just thought it might be a lot more simple than it actually turned out to be. You know, once you get to the point where, of course, if you're trying to imagine writing an FMV game where you've got multiple branchings, it becomes a nightmare. It's a spaghetti junction. I
bet.
When all the paths can go different ways and some have got to meet back up while others go different ways, it's, oh! That was a challenge.
Are you like the sunny Philadelphia thing we always see where like the lines are drawn with the string to one thing or the other and you got a cigarette, hand a Budweiser, like, I don't know, man. Where does it need to go from here?
The amount of flowcharts I've been writing, everything on piece of paper, scraps everywhere, just trying to make sense of my own game. Oh my god, where does this bit go? Yeah, it does get difficult. But it's worth it because once you actually see the result, it's so satisfying. To think, oh wow, it actually is coming together. This is really working.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. Well, is there anything else like tidbit wise or anything about the game you'd like us to know? I know it's hard because like your plot's pretty. You got to keep it under lock and key.
All I will say is, it knows what it is. The game knows what it is. It's a serious FMV interactive movie, but it does acknowledge that it's a game. If that makes any sense at all, it will make sense once you begin to play it.
I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to say.
Looking at each other's eyes.
It's very tricky to explain that.
It's very tricky.
But yeah, I just want you all to have fun playing it.
Yeah, I could almost guarantee I will. Like it this is no reference to what yours will be, but I've even found like even when they're bad, they're good. Like I just know how to like lose myself in those kinds of tropes and just enjoy it for what it is. I think that's the reason why a lot of FMVs got a bad rap, like even some of the newer ones today, is because people just can't fall into the mindset of like the style that it was.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't trying to win Oscars. They weren't trying to, like, whatever for their scripts, or at least especially in the 90s. Like, you play Harvester. What was that?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, even by 90s standards, like, what was that? But lose yourself in this style, and you can really enjoy them and have fun. I think that's what's missing.
Darkside does know what it is. It knows what it wants to be. It does even have elements of humour in there. It doesn't take itself too seriously when it doesn't need to. It knows exactly what it is. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, great. I mean, I can't think of anything more to ask because, like, obviously we don't want to spoil any more, and you can only try to poke at the plot for so long.
Shall we just mention again? There's a certain person now. I know you mentioned it at the beginning, but there's a certain person in the game who makes a cameo. Who is it, Lacey? Who is it?
I think I remember being there with another lovely gentleman. Yes. No, it was a fun little voiceover, and honestly, I still I have a little bit understanding of what the voiceover part is.
Yeah.
But it's fun for me because I really don't know how it's getting implemented really. So it'll be more of a fun to see like how that got inserted. In my head, I have a good idea.
Well,
obviously I was only sent that chunk of like, here's what you guys say, and then okay.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know a little secret if you want to know.
Okay.
Your cameos within the first 10 minutes of the game.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. And then I can just shut it down. We're done here, people.
Cut to
that
credits.
was all I was waiting
over.
for.
The best person's been and gone.
Shapeshifting Detective made me wait till it came on the radio. Like, we got this right at the top, baby. And excellent. And I was actually very happy to do it. So I am very
And thank
very
you for doing it.
That you asked me, and I think it was great. So
and you did well.
I can't wait to play
good.
it. It was a fun part. It was fun.
A bit of fun.
It was a bit of fun. Little tomfoolery to go along. That's what they ask me for, right?
Exactly.
They're like, I know who acts like a dingus on a regular basis. I don't know. Do you have anything else, Steven? I'm going to ask from the good old Tayanna.
Nothing's really coming to mind. I mean, you're like you said, you're covering all your bases. You can't ask certain questions, so just don't want to.
And I don't want to spoil it anyway.
No.
I wouldn't want to be the one to do it.
I'm sorry for that.
No, that's fine.
Even when I do reviews of games, like I try so hard to avoid spoilers because, like, who wants that? You want to be surprised when you go into it. And with certain FMVs, it does make it harder when I'm doing the review because I'm like, what? And sometimes I refer back to the trailer, like, what are they showing? What's okay to do? But yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on it. And maybe just one off. Tayanna Studios. Then where did we? What's the name from?
Tayanna Studios.
Since now that I know you're basically a one-person team at this point,
Well, Tayanna Studios actually, and I must give props to my wife for thinking of this. Mm-hmm. Our two children are called Taylor and Annalise. So we've took Tay and Anna, and it's become Tayanna. And yeah, that was the wife. She just sat there and said, "How about Tayanna?" I thought, "Oh, that sounds nice." Yeah,
It actually does flow very nice.
Sure.
Excellent. So now you've got the whole family involved in
That's
one
it.
game. I think that's fantastic.
It is. It's a family
Well, I
production.
can't wait
It's
to see.
a family team.
And then they all make appearances in there as well.
They
I
do,
saw.
yes.
Got the whole like child labor law on you or anything? Like,
Oh,
no, kid.
We just fed them once every 3 weeks. They were fine.
That's typically what us actors expect. Oh, there's craft services. I'll be there. What time? Yeah. Usually in the early stages, you're just happy to get fed. Well, then that's the show. I guess we can follow. Make sure to check out Tayanna Studios on Twitter. Definitely follow them. I would imagine that is the best way to keep in touch and apprised of the process moving forward when we're going to get a release date, and been really good about sending out video updates and little things, hints to keep you interested here or there. So definitely check them out. And yeah, that's our show then, guys. Thank you so much for listening. You can hit us up sometime on Twitter at SuperMegaCrash. You can send us an email at supermegacrash@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram to view the weekly icon art that Steven puts so much time and love into. You can support the show by liking and leaving reviews on your preferred platform, and even going to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions if you'd like to chuck in a buck. Tell your friend to find Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and even youtube.com/Pencil Paper Productions. And thank you so much for listening. I am Lacey Finley.
And I'm going to throw out one little Patreon bonus to kind of entice people. Episode 3 of Super Mega Crash Adventures is going to be on there this week. So,
and it's so good,
there's your
guys.
incentive.
Like,
full episode.
It's so good. I can't wait to, it was killing me to not share that. I'm just going to put that out there. When Steven showed me episode 3, it's been killing me to not share the link. You guys have got to see it. Go check it out on Patreon, man. It's going to be great.
I am Stephen White.
And then, of course, Darren was joining us. Thank you again so much for your time today. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk with us.
You are more than welcome, guys, both of you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good. A nice little hour and a half. We got to have pleasant conversation with people all over the world, right?
Always good.
Excellent. Well, join us again next time, Super Mega Crash Siblings. But until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.